against...
Well, you're going to be broadcasting over the internet, what do you expect?
Right, the issue of trust. It's a huge subject, and I've tried to minimise it as much as I can, so that we can squeeze it into a short space of time. I've got the watch, so if I start, overrunning, just wave, just say we're bored now, move on. But I decided to talk about trust because at the moment, with a lot going on, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of decisions are being made that we're not in control of, and trust is one thing that we desperately need in God to see us through. So, I was looking at different things that happen in life in general, and the one thing that they say is that trust takes years to build, but it can be broken within seconds. So how many times has somebody said, oh yeah, I'll pick you up at 4 o'clock, and they don't turn up till past? And you just stand there waiting. You lend somebody £10, and they say, oh, I'll definitely pay you back Friday. Come to Friday, oh yeah, still a little bit short, is it alright if I make it Monday? People do this all the time. But I was looking at, that's people with trust. Now let's look at God and trust. So we've got some examples from the Bible. If I can find the right page. So all the way through the Bible there are testimonies in there from different people, loads of different people, about how they have put their trust in God, and He's actually delivered what He said He would deliver. So I'm just going to read from Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 to 4. The Lord had said to Abraham, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land that I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all the peoples on earth, all the peoples on earth will be blessed through you. So Abraham goes to the Lord, and he says, yeah, okay, I'm not quite sure how I would have reacted. Somebody telling me, pack up all your stuff, leave, go into the desert. I don't know where you're going to go, but trust me and I will take you into the desert and I will make it a nation for you. So I'm not quite sure why I would trust that, but Abraham decides to trust God. So he packs up all of his stuff, gets all his family together, he gets his friends, the people that he trusts, and he takes them out into the desert and he forms a new land. And he gets unbelievable blessings while he's out there. That's not to say that Abraham didn't have trials and that it was easy for him. It was very hard. I can't imagine having, well, I have done it. I've packed up all my stuff and I've moved to a completely different location, not knowing what's going to happen. But this is a real testament of how Abraham trusted in God, and what he got in reward was exactly what God said. He got a new nation, and all of his people were blessed. Another person that was blessed by God and who put a lot of trust in him was Moses. So if we look at Exodus 3, verse 4 to 11, I might not read all of this. But Moses was a guy who had been persecuted, he'd been kicked out of Egypt, he thought he was an Egyptian, then he finds out that he's not. So there's a lot going on with Moses. But Moses, so if we just look at Exodus, when the Lord saw that he had, that's the wrong bit, I'm going to go from verse 5. No, I'm not, I'm going to stick with that. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, Here I am. Do not come any closer, God said. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of the land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites. See, I can't read all these names. That's the ones, a lot of people. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now go, I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. That's quite a thing to ask somebody. Go to Egypt, see Pharaoh, tell him to release my people. Yeah, that's quite a big thing. But Moses said, do you know what, I'm going to trust you. You wouldn't be asking me to do this if you didn't believe in me, and if you didn't trust me to do it. So Moses goes off to Egypt. Has a horrible time. He gets persecuted, people are still getting beaten up, and the slaves are still going through an awful time. But Moses stuck with it. He put his trust in God and he stuck with it. And what happened at the end was that Pharaoh did release God's people and they were allowed to leave. So God really does deliver what he says he's going to deliver. Who else have I got on here? David. David did a lot of things that he shouldn't have done. You know, he was a wide boy, you know, he went off and did stuff that he shouldn't have done, but he always came back to God. Whenever he found himself in the depths of despair, he would go to God and say, God, I've really mucked up this time and I need you to help me. And God would own it. Daniel is another brilliant example. Daniel was faced with a lion. Daniel gets faced with a lion and he puts his trust in God. And God protects him. That's quite amazing. I find it in my life as well. So on the bottom I've got me and you. And I know there are testimonies sat in this room where people can say that they've put their trust in God and he's actually delivered. Now I've had a lot of things have happened in the last 2 weeks. I had my bank card chewed up by a bank machine. I've now found out there was fraudulent goings on with my bank account. So now all my money is in the bank and I can't access any of it. Hopefully that is going to be sorted out by the end of next week. But that's been frustrating, it's been annoying. But you know, I've said to God, well, it's your way of telling me not to spend any money at the moment. But I've put it with him, I've given it to God, and I've said, you know what, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just going to give it to you, and what needs to be provided for will be provided for. And I've got food in the house, I've got enough gas and electric to get me through. So, you know, I'm very blessed that I've got all these things. Another thing that's happened, obviously, the decision of the church. Gutted, absolutely devastated. You know, we can't afford to employ a minister. And not just any minister, Ian. You know, my right-hand man, he's been like a brother to me. That's been devastating. But I prayed to God about it, and I said to him, I'm trusting you with whatever decision you make. The decision isn't mine. This is all out of my control. There are things I can do to help, but ultimately the decision was out of my control, so I gave it to God. God turned around and said to me, one, to stop being selfish. And he said, what an opportunity. What an opportunity this is going to be. This is going to be exciting. We don't know what's going to happen. He does, but we don't. And it's actually exciting to see how we're all going to come together, how we're going to get out of this situation. Yeah, it is a bad situation, but it's nothing that we can't turn around and sort out. And the one thing that really got me through was thinking where I was sort of 2.5 years ago, not really knowing where I was going to live and things like that, a chance encounter with Mary and Ian in the pub. And my entire life has been spun on its head, in a good way. And what I think is, what a wonderful opportunity for Ian and Jen to go somewhere in the country and find somebody that was lost, like me, and to be able to turn their life around. And I just praise God for that opportunity, because yes, it is selfish on my part. I want them to stay desperately. But what an opportunity for somebody else to have their life saved with two fantastic people that have the ability to be able to do that and help people on their journey in faith. We've had the Euro discussion. What's going to happen there? Nobody knows. They're on about people needing IQ tests before they before they're allowed to vote again and things like that. There's been a lot of things going on. But right now, what we need is everybody to come together and everybody to trust that God knows what's going on. God has everything in control. Let's give it to Him. Let's trust in God. Let's all come together as a church, as the body of Christ. Let's all come together, and then we will find the path forward. God will not put anything in our way that will harm us. It feels like it. It really does. I've had my heart broken on a number of occasions, and I have recently this week. My mum's not very well, and she's been diagnosed with cancer. And that's been really hard. That's been really hard. But I trust that God knows what He's doing. I really do. Deep down, I know that He knows what He's doing. And I have to trust Him with some really hard stuff right now, because it's out of my control. And I know that He will get me through it. I'm actually on my 90th day of being sober. With everything that's gone on, I deserve a drink more than most, I think. The first thing I wanted to do when my mum told me was, right, that's it, bottle of whiskey, let's down it, let's get on with it. And I was driving home from work and I thought, how dare you? And I was talking to Satan and I said, devil, I don't care what you say. How dare you tempt me with drink? My mum needs me right now. The church needs me. My friends and family need me. We've got a situation here that really needs thinking about and sorting out, and I'm damned if I'm going to let you take control of my life again like you did. So I got really cross with Satan for even thinking that he could tempt me, and I said, God, I give it all to you. You are my you are my courage, you are my rock. For whatever reason, all these things are happening, but I trust in you completely, and I will continue to trust in you completely, because I know that we will come out the other side. Now, 90 days ago, I never thought I could stop drinking. I've relied on it for so many years. I like a drink. I like the taste of it. I like the fact that I can have a drink and the world goes a little bit fuzzy, and you don't have to think about things too much, and you forget a lot of things. You forget stupid conversations you've had with people, which is rather nice at times. But I've got so much more from not drinking. I've been blessed. I'm able to help out with things. I haven't been so drunk that I can't put a sermon together. You know? I can read my Bible and remember what I've read and let the words actually touch my heart and change my life. Anyway, enough of me. My plans. We all have plans. We all know what we want to happen, and yes, that is an Aston Martin DB7 Vantage, currently retailing at £145,000. I would love one. I would love one. I'd probably wrap it around a lamppost because it would be too powerful for me, but I would love one. Who would love a huge mansion house? Just think of the parties you could have.
Too much work.
Too much work, yeah. Who wants to clean that place? But just think, if we had a huge mansion house, the situation with the church at the moment, you could all move in.
Exactly.
We could all be together. We wouldn't need the memorial hall. We'd just have a huge house. Yeah. We could all live together. There'd be no worries. We'd all help each other out and things like that. You know? Pool parties. Be a heated swimming pool, obviously, you know, so that we could use it all year round. We could do all of that. You know, very good for arthritis, swimming. Aqua aerobics for the older ones, you know, we could have a great time. These are my plans. These are my hopes. You know, these are my hopes. And the one question I have, can we trust the plans that we make for ourselves? And can we make it happen? Honest answer, no, it's never going to happen. I'm not going to win. I might win the lottery. You never know, you've got to be in it to win it. I haven't bought a lottery ticket for months, so that's my chances out the window. But all these plans, all these things, these are all dreams. These are all things that I would like to happen. Will they happen? Probably not, because I'm not capable of making them happen. I need to trust God to provide, and He has. I wouldn't swap that, my little flat, my lovely little flat that came to me by the grace of God, I wouldn't swap it for a mansion house. I really wouldn't. Because my little flat is very blessed. It's a real blessing. I wouldn't swap my little car that was given to me out of very good faith. I wouldn't swap it for an Aston Martin. Because it's all about show. And I don't need to. God has provided that car for me. That little car goes everywhere. It's brilliant. It's never let me down. And neither will God. God won't let me down. An Aston Martin, well, that would cost a fortune to get repaired. So, but things will go wrong in life, you know. I have to accept the fact that I'm never going to have the Aston. You know, I have to accept that. But what I do get is a lot of blessings beside that. I was talking to my mum the other day, and she said, how do you feel about what's happening with the church and everything like that? And I said, Mum, I said, it feels like my right arm's been cut off, which I'm sure it does for a lot of you. You know? But I turned around to Mum and I said, do you know what, Mum? I'm not going to let this happen. This isn't going to happen. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for everybody to get together and to help make this church now work. This is a real wake-up call. I said, and I see it as a huge opportunity. I see it as exciting. Wow, is this place going to keep going? Can we do it? Do you think we can do it? Yeah, I think we can do it. And I was saying to my mum was doing cricket teams at the time down in Devon, and she said she was walking across the cricket pitch. And I said, I believe we can do this. I believe that we can stay together. Whatever God's plan is for us individually, I won't let the devil come in and distort everything. I will continue with my faith. I will stay on track. And everything's going to be good, and I will get the blessings from God afterwards. And Mum said, I'm stood in the middle of a cricket pitch with my arms in the air saying hallelujah. She said, they must think I'm nuts. And I said, well, join the group, join the party. You know, this is what trusting in God is about. It's about all of these things, giving them to Him, and He will deliver. So that's my plan. That's never going to happen. Let's take a look at God's plan. Let's say God will not put anything in our path to harm us. He does not want to harm us. He wants us to grow strong. He will test us. God tested Abraham. Tested him in one of the biggest ways possible. To take your son and make him a sacrifice? I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if my trust is quite that advanced yet. That's a huge thing to do. But God will test you. These are testing times right now. But if we trust, God will get us through it. So in Jeremiah 29:11, one that I know of by heart. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. We have a future. It's whether we decide that we want that future or not. I know the future that I would like, with the pool and the huge house and the Aston Martin. I'll go, yeah, that's my future, that's what I want. It's not realistic. What I can have is peace in my heart, to be humble with what I've got and to know that God will provide everything that I need and that He will be with me forever. And that's worth so much more. That is worth so much more. So we can trust God's plan for us. If we trust in Him and let Him lead us to the future He has planned. So my big prayer for all of you, that I've been praying all week, because I know situations have happened and the circumstances with decisions at the church and things like that, I have been praying all week for all of you, is that now you will unite. That's the wrong word. I sound like a politician. Is that we will support each other as a family now. You know, that we will all come together and that you will, I know things are difficult, but that you will put your trust in God in order to see us through. And I truly believe, from the testimony that we've had in Scripture, from the testimonies around us, which please share with each other. We need to hear your testimonies of how God has got you through difficult times. I truly believe God does have a plan and that He will see it through right to the bitter end. Thank you.